Thanks for that introduction. Yeah, hope everyone have a profitable day. Did over here, so a little bit of gap and go action in the S&P futures. Had a Nadex trade on a little bit of futures, but I just want to get a feel for the audience right now, so I know how many of you guys have ever traded Nadex. How many of you guys are options traders, and how many of you guys are futures traders? So if you just want to say options, futures, Nadex trader, stock, whatever you trade, just go ahead and put it in the chat and so I can get an idea. So I have a couple of Nadex traders in here. Everything's stocks, options, cool. Forex, okay. So Forex works on Nadex as well. I mean, if you like trading the indices, it's just a different product. Awesome. So it seems like a lot of you guys, mostly are active traders. If you have never traded before, I think for those of you who have never traded before, even those who are still very new in their trading careers but haven't explored the Nadex binary options product, this is definitely going to be a webinar that interests you. I found out about Nadex just a year ago. Well, not even a year ago actually, and I've been trading it ever since. But I'm gonna go over some setups I use. So I started off as an options trader, moved to futures, primarily trade futures, and discovered Nadex last year. So let me go off first off into a risk disclaimer. You can read this while I talk about it, but important notice, no present representation is being made that the use of this strategy or any system or trading methodology will generate profits. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's substantial risk of loss associated with trading securities, options, and equities. Only risk capital should be used to trade. Trading securities is not suitable for everyone. You can lose money trading. It's important to understand risk. I mean, that's pretty much what this says. CFT Serial 4.41, you definitely need to understand that trading is a risky thing to do. And if you don't have money you can afford to lose, this is not something probably suitable for you. So I just want to make that very clear to everybody because if I don't, lawyers will be after me. Anyways, who likes lawyers here? A little bit about me. I'm not going to talk too much. So anyway, if you guys have ever used a Thinkorswim product, this is me teaching with a guy named Tom Sosa, created Thinkorswim. Um, so Thinkorswim is probably the biggest retail platform out there. I use it as well. Now runs a show called Tasty Trade, which is pretty cool, where I did a show in front of an audience of 40,000 viewers where I actually taught futures trading and option spread trading. It's just me and my prop desk with a buddy of mine came in to visit. Thinkorswim in the background, lots of screens. I used to trade a lot of equities, primarily focused on futures now, so I don't actually use all those screens anymore. But when I was trading equities, you're looking at 20 plus names a day, trading 20 plus names a day, so you need a lot of space. Uh, so anyways, little bit more about myself. I bought my first stock when I was 15. Learned my first trading lesson at 18. At 18 years old, I blew out my first trading account. I funded it with $1,000, ran it up to $5,000. Thought I knew it all. Was absolutely hooked on trading. I was like, wow, look what I just did from a dorm room. I want to do this the rest of my life. What do I need college for? I just made the average salary with little to no knowledge. Well, you know, push came to shove, and I got it all put right back down my throat. Lost all my money, but the the drive was instilled for me to be a professional trader from that point on. When I was 20 years old, I was able to study under a hedge fund trader out of Chicago. He taught me a lot of the knowledge I use today, everything from emotional psychology based to just the technical analysis strategies that I do use. Got a first job at a prop firm at 22, educational class with Tom Sosnoff. And then 2015, the reason we're all here is I actually discovered binary options. Um, I'm not going to talk about this too much because talking about making profits is a good way to get sued. But in 13 days, I took $250 into 16,000, and I'm going to show you the setups I used to do that. So this is a graph of what I did. All of those videos are recorded, and I can get those to you if you're interested in viewing them. I literally recorded every single one of those trades to show people, the real deal. Anyways, so what I'm about to teach you is I'm going to teach you about Nadex binary options. I'm going to show you how they work. The one trade setup I used the other morning, and that setup, for those of you who have full-time jobs and careers and also trade on the side, this is probably the best setup I could teach you. That's why I'm going to focus on it today, because you really only need to look at the market once during the day to actually figure out if this is going to be a trade you can take today, or if it is not a trade you can take. So we'll go over how that is. How do you determine that you can take a trade within the first 45 minutes of the day, whether or not? So I'm going to show you that setup. It's a really cool setup. uh do to do Get you the link to those videos at the end here. But binary options are the perfect product for technical analysts. All right, now I'm just going to bring it back to the crowd here. I want to know how many of you guys consider yourself technical analysts, and what strategies do you use, just to get an idea. Feel the crowd out. Moving averages, MACD, support, resistance, Fibonacci, whatever you use, tell me. All right, tell me. So my idea with binary options is, if because I started trading at a very young age, I had little to no money. I had very little money to my name, and really my only edge was my ability to use technical analysts to predict or increase my odds on my trades. Nobody ever gave me, I wasn't far into my career with $100,000 that I had saved up that I could use the risk. So I had to start with a very small amount of money and be extremely disciplined in my trading setups. So I am a pure technical analyst. I don't care about news. I mean, if you trade on news, that's fine. I literally could not care less what the news is. Generally in a position when the news comes out and the market, moves my way or against me. But this is a product that I discovered could simplify my strategy, which is literally just trading support and resistance with pattern recognition. Because then I decided all I needed to be right on was that the price was above or below my strike, not above by 20 bucks, not above by 200. I just needed above by 2 ticks, whatever. So I like to call this the reverse blowout, because that's kind of what I did. I've blown out an account before. Like I said, when I was 18 years old, I first started trading, made some money, a little bit of beginner's luck, and then sayonara to everything in my account. So Nadex binary options. Binary options are limited risk contracts based on a simple yes or no market proposition, like will the markets go up by the end of the week. Binary options offer traders ways to trade the most active stock indices, commodities, Forex, events, and Bitcoin markets with relatively low collateral. Binary options are cash settled contracts that settle with an all or nothing payout left to expiration. If the condition of the contract is achieved, the settlement value is 100. If the condition is not achieved, the settlement value is 0. It is possible to close a contract prior to expiration, just like you would with a traditional option, to either take profits or cut losses. So a couple of things I want to go back and focus on that. For me, the whole idea of just even trying out binary options, because I had no real interest in adding a whole nother product to my arsenal of trading products. I mean, as traders, we want to focus on simplicity and making our method just the same thing over and over, just repeat, repeat, repeat. So adding another product for me was something I never really looked into until I discovered binary options. And the cool thing, I said, well, I can fund an account with relatively low money and just see if it works or if it doesn't. If it works, then this could be really, really profitable. If it doesn't work, whatever, I'm gonna lose, $250, which for me is not a lot of money. It might be for some people, but speaking for me, it's not a lot of money. So it's a little collateral with potentially a relatively high payout, which to me was an intriguing thing to do. So I knew nothing about binary options in 2015. I decided to just use my technical strategies and apply them to the binary options. In this ticket you're seeing on the right hand side, and this is what really got me going on being like, okay, I think I can master these things because I consider myself a technical expert. How do I turn my knowledge in the markets into a profitable trading strategy using Nadex binary options? So in this specific ticket here, and I'm going to explain really how this product works. When you go into Nadex, whether you're demoing or you're live, there's going to be multiple strikes. So in this case, it's the US 500, which is the E-mini futures contract. It's always the US 500 is the E-mini futures contract, which in this case was trading at 1948.3. Okay, 1948.3 was what the E-minis were trading. The contract strike number, which is what you're betting on it to be above or below, was 1947. In this specific instance, the offer is 60, the bid is 54.50. If I expect the market to just be above 1947 come the given expiration time, which is 4:15, or the futures close, now that's given in Eastern Standard Time, I would be risking $60 to make 40, not including commissions. If I were to bet that we were going to be below 1947, I would need to sell on the bid, and that would cost me $100 minus 54.50 or 55.50. So risking 45.50 to make 54.50. So why Nadex? There's a few benefits of Nadex binary options. They're limited risk. The maximum amount you can lose on every trade is your original investment. Low collateral required. Binary contracts are priced between 0 and 100. And then there's short-term contracts. So binaries that have expirations ranging from 20 minutes to 1 week. One of the things I like about having different expirations is I'm choosing based around the structure of my own price action and what I think is going to happen, the contract I want to trade. When you're trading a traditional option, you really only have a couple of options to pick from. You have the weeklies, which expire every Friday, and then you have the monthlies, which are the third Friday of every month. Generally speaking, that's not a lot of options for a trader. In order to structure the trade in the terms under your terms, having more options like with Nadex, where you literally have either every 20 minutes, every hour, and at the end of the day, as well as at the end of the week, gives me a lot more options, because I might think we're going to get a rally into the end of the day, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to get a rally, into tomorrow, and I don't want that overnight risk. Also, with traditional options, I used to be a big traditional options trader. I made my first decent amount of change trading traditional options, but then I also took both six-figure hits to the upside, which was fine, but then I had a six-figure loss to the downside. And I realized that when I was trading traditional options, I had a psychological attachment to the exit that prevented me as a trader from executing on the strategy I determined at the beginning of the trade. With Nadex binary options, the expirations being timed, I'm no longer concerned about entering or exiting at the exact right time. When I entered a trade in a traditional binary or a traditional options contract, potentially you're looking for, maybe you're looking for price to move up $2, and if it goes up those $2, you're looking at a 200% return. But, you get that $2 move and you're up 200%. You think, oh, maybe it can go another two and I'll be up 500%. That was always something, a greed factor that all humans have that kind of made me not as good at a profit taker as I should have been with my traditional options. And that's when I suffered that huge loss I took. Um, and so for me with binary options, what I can do is I can just focus on the entry. By just focusing on the entry, what I'm doing is going down to what I'm an expert at, which is technical analysis, just simple support and resistance. Determining how far the market will move after your support or resistance, I think, is a lot more difficult than just determining is the support going to trade and managing that position on that support, and is the resistance going to trade, and then managing the position on that resistance. How many of you guys have ever been in an options contract where you got in, the market did what you wanted it to do, you're up maybe 50%, maybe 75%, whatever, and then the market just starts stalling out, moving sideways, that you see that you just start getting eaten by your theta, and then pretty soon you're back to your break even on the option strike, even though the position has moved your way. How many has that ever happened to? I tell you what, it's happened to me. Uh, like I said, that when I was trading, last time I heavily traded traditional options was 2013, and I had a six-figure win followed by a six-figure loss within about like a 3-week span. And that was just mentally debilitating to my ability to just trade traditional options. I just really rethought and focused on futures ever since then. Yeah, it was very rough, but I was being really, really greedy. There's really only one way you learn that. So price is king, and I really believe that. I don't use indicators. I don't use a MACD, an RSI, nothing of that sort. The only indicators I use are market internals, UVOL, DVOL, 80 lines, the NICE tick. Some of those you might have heard of before. I teach price action, and in my opinion, binary options are the best product for price action traders. So a lot of you might be curious about Nadex commission and cost structure. Trading lots 1 to 10 are going to be 90 cents per lot, capped at $9. So if you're scaling up over 10 lots, having your commissions capped at $9 is huge. I'm sure any of you who trade in multiple, say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 lots in options. You see that brokerage statement at the end of the year, and you see how much you paid in options commissions. That number is big. I've seen it. So that is one of my favorite things about the commission structure with Nadex is I'm capped at $9 whether I'm in or out. So as I scale up, I'm actually reducing my cost per trade on a commission basis, which is really favorable as you begin to scale. Lots above, there's expiration fees. So as the contract expires, it's the same as a trading fee. So 1 to 10 lots, 90 cents a piece. Above that, capped at 9. Expiration times are always given in Eastern Standard Time. The spreads on the contracts are generally going to be $3 to $6, and the spreads are where market makers have their offers and bids, and they're usually about 50 to 200 contracts posted. Now, I've actually seen size increase over the last few months in Nadex, where I'm starting to now see 250, 250, 250 contracts on the bidder offer, which is liquid. If you're paying, say, right in the middle of the contract, so $50 a contract, at 200 contracts, you can put on $10,000 positions and be liquid in terms of managing that position. Anything above 10,000, they will move the bidder offer as soon as you take it out, like a traditional option market maker would. The other thing is there's no HFT. So any of you who ever have paid attention to level 2 quotes on options, and maybe there's a 50 lot sitting on not in a liquid stock, maybe like I'm trying to think of one right now. I mean, I don't trade, like say Fossil. You throw a 50 lot out to buy calls. You hit the limit and what's posted on the offer. All of a sudden, that offer that said there was 50 there Turns out you only got filled on 15 and the rest of it jumped up 10 cents. Now that's not going to happen in Nadex. There's nobody moving around the bids and offers and front running, seeing your order come in and jumping up that. So, I mean, I've seen that before and paid attention close enough to trading. So that does not affect you when you're trading Nadex. Another huge benefit. Let's see here. So traditional options, like I always said, I think they're very complicated. I do not want to be calculating delta, gamma, theta, vega, volatility versus historical volatility on the fly while at the same time coming up with the trading setup. I don't know how many of you are comfortable calculating all of those numbers on the fly. Me personally, I am not. I think traditional options, people trade them generally speaking because they're pushed by the brokerage houses. They are probably one of the larger commission generating products. Most options traders are active traders. There's leverage involved, so they can be very profitable. But I really think traditional options are a bandwagon thing, and everyone's just doing it because options trading is cool. I think Nadex is definitely going to change that, and getting ahead of the curve by just trying out these products and demo is something you should be doing by the end of this presentation. Just demo it. This is one of my favorite quotes by Bernard Baruch. If a speculator is correct half of the time, he is hitting a good average. Even being right 3 out of 4 times out of 10 should yield a person a fortune if he has the sense to cut his losses quickly on ventures where he is wrong. This goes back to the management of the position. Traditional options, not only do you need to move in your direction, but whatever the market makers are pricing in based on the volatility of the instrument, you sometimes need a move much larger than a standard move. Like if you're going in options, I've seen Netflix before the split, where it needs like a $50 move plus just to, break even on your calls or your puts. To me, that's pretty crazy when I can trade a product that if it expires one tick above the expiration I choose, I'm going to get 100% payout or potentially more. Let's go into a setup here. Okay, this is the setup. I want you guys to get your pen and paper out. I call this the charge trade. This is one of my 6 favorite setups, and one of the setups I used to turn $250 into $16,000. And once again, I recorded all of the videos live so you can see them for all of the trolls in here who are talking. This is a trade that occurs on days when the market is going to be trending down or up, actually. So we'll go over this, but the trigger is on the close of the third 15-minute bar. So this is when I said all you need is 45 minutes of data to determine whether or not this trade is going to set up. There's going to be 2 criteria you're going to be looking for. One is a gap. It can gap up or it can gap down. Now, I've looked at this on the E-minis. I haven't looked at it, so the ES future, I haven't looked at it on other products, but you could go ahead and take a look and see if it fits your. Look for a gap up or gap down in the ES. Then you're going to look for 3 15-minute bars that either trade up 1, 2, 3, 3 15-minute green bars, or trade down 1, 2, 3 15-minute green bars. So by 9:15 Central Standard Time, you're going to know, is this set up or is it not? Once you have that criteria, you have a gap, 15-minute closes, 3 in a row in the same direction, you're looking for an entry. That entry is going to be a 50% retracement. Now, I saw some people in here earlier talk about how they use fibs. We're going to go into that right now. A couple of questions here. Can you trade the ES regular hours? Can I use Nadex charts for this? Yes. I use Thinkorswim charts. They're free. I mean, I think they've changed their thing, but you can just fund an account and let the money sit if you want. Anyways, guys, this is that setup here. Everything is clearly defined in terms of what I want to see. I think a lot of traders, when they first begin trading, and I can speak for myself, when you can, nod your head in agreement or, shake your head in disagreement. When you first start trading, a lot of people don't define what they want to see in the market. I think it's important to clearly define an exact setup, almost like a computer. I mean, we all know computers dominate the markets these days. That's because they're rule-based. And if you're not going to be a rule-based trader, you're probably not going to make it. Or if you are going to make it, it's going to take you 10,000 hours of screen time, which a lot of us don't have. So we have a gap, first criteria, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 15-minute closes all in the same direction, going negative here. What I'll do then is I'll look for the first 50% retracement pullback. In this case, it is going to be 1933, and then I will sell. Now, in this case, we're going short, so I would need to sell on the bid what the closest expiration to that 50% retracement, and I'll go 2 hours out, and at the end of the day, I'll spread it amongst two strikes. Like I said, there's multiple expirations that you can choose, and the way I'll manage my stop is I normally will let it just ride till expiration, but if we're trading above the high of the day, so if we were to trade above the high of the day, I would probably cut that loss, but occasionally I will just, just eat the loss and hope for the probability for it to come back even. Generally speaking, though, this will trade at 10:15. I'll look out at the 12 o'clock strike because I want to be at least 45 minutes out. So if it trades at 10:15, my closest expiration is going to be 11 o'clock. My next expiration is going to be the 12 o'clock expiration. I will look past 45 minutes because I want to give myself some time to manage the position, and then I'll buy another contract that goes out into the end of the day. Same setup to the upside. You got to gap up. 1, 2, 3 15-minute closes to the upside. Your entry is now the 50% retracement. In this specific case, what you're looking for is a pullback into that 50% retracement and then participating on the Nadex strike that is closest to the 50% retracement. So if we're at a 1902 half rounded here for the 50% retracement pullback, I'd be looking in the 1904 to 1905 strike area to purchase a contract. And all I need at the end of this is, so you guys understand this product, I don't need it to rally the 20 points that it did. Although that's great and that's fine. If you want to be really aggressive with this trade, you can actually bet for the contracts to take out the highs, which occasionally I will do. But just safely speaking, all you're looking for is price to stay above this support level in the direction of the trend. Okay, go to another setup. This setup here in the Russell, 1, 2, 3 15-minute closes to the downside, and then you have your 50% retracement back. Okay, that 50% retracement back, that is your entry. This one traded right at the close of that 10 o'clock bar. You're looking 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours out. So if I'm 10 o'clock, I go by the 11 o'clock strike, and then you would look out into the end of the day. Simply enough. Does everyone understand kind of how this setup works? Any questions about this setup? Nice and easy, exactly. Will this work in currencies? Now you'd have to come up. Now a 50% retracement, generally speaking, is, it's used by many people. I'm no creator. I didn't create this idea. I just kind of took what the market gave me, found a pattern that continuously repeats itself, and I'll kind of explain how I go into my thought process. What am I looking for? The reason I'm looking for a gap is because I'm looking for a disagreement in price from the previous day to the current day. That's going to shake some things up. You're going to get people stopped out. You're going to get new positions put on, new positions taken off. Then I'm also looking for 3 15-minute closes in the same direction because I want to make sure that there's momentum. In that open, the 3 15-minute closes, some people say the open is the most important part of the day, the first 30 minutes, the first hour. I'm sure you guys have heard of initial range, initial balance. That's going to tell me that the momentum is going to continue in one direction or the other. Well, we always want to be trading on the side of momentum no matter what product you use. It is not a very profitable strategy to trade against momentum. They always say the trend is your friend. So how do we determine trend? How do we determine entry? And how do we determine position? It's very clear and written out, and that's why I'm bringing this here to the table to educate you guys. I love sharing this information. Trust me, no matter how many of you guys end up deciding to go through and learn this stuff, none of you will affect my personal lifestyle or change the bidder offers, there won't be big enough size. So I have no problem sharing everything that I've gone back tested, studied, etc. with all of you guys. But I encourage you, if you're into just trading currencies, I mean, me as a trader, the only reason any of us trade is to make money. Nobody trades for fun. Nobody trades just to trade because they want to trade. Like, we all trade for money, let's be honest. So whatever products are profitable are probably the products you should drift towards. Besides ES and TF, what other markets do you trade this strategy on? None. Occasionally I'll trade the Nikkei. So like if I want to trade the Asian session, I'll focus on the Nikkei, which is the most active product. And I also like the time sequence that Nadex offers. But the reason I don't trade other products is not because they work less. It's because I am a firm believer in limiting complexity when it comes to trading. I think way too many newer traders start trading, they get into options, they get into stocks, they get into currencies. All of a sudden, they got a 40-name watch list. They got 25 setups, 3 indicators, and 100 different option strategies. And now you have decisions to be made in the infinite amount that your brain cannot calculate. Therefore, for me personally, what I've found to be most profitable is to absolutely focus on the minimalist products, the simplest setups, proper execution and risk management, and then just do it day after day after day after day. Don't make it complex. You don't need to do that. Yes, I trade the E-mini live in my trading room all day. All day long, my dome is showing. So little more details. Choosing the closest strike to the 50% retracement, that's what I was going over in the last slide. The time strikes at the end of the day. So you want to go boom at the 4:15 close and 1 to 2 hours out. So the reason I like to do that, like I've gone over, I like to go to the end of the day and then 1 to 2 hours out, because sometimes one will work and the other won't. The closer strike will generally be have a better risk reward ratio because you don't have as much time left on it. Now, you can also be really aggressive with this trading setup, because a lot of times this setup does end up taking out the lows. So if I want to be really aggressive and say, like right now we are in a very aggressive bull trend market. So if this is a setup that'll go set up to the long side, I will take it, planning on for us to take out highs. Now I have a couple of different setups. I only have 6 of them. I mean, I don't need more than 6 setups. If you have 65 setups, you're not going to remember them enough. You're not a computer. Keep it simple, guys. I mean, if you're here to trade and you're just starting to trade, if you're making things complex and you're losing money, well, you can guarantee that's part of the reason. So it's important to really simplify your trading set, simplify the products you trade, simplify the execution, simplify the setups. And I continue to let me go. Actually, we'll go to a live chart here because I don't want to just like pick and choose. Obviously, these are examples when I built this slideshow, but I want to show you guys in a real market chart. So let me just turn this. This is Thinkorswim. So some of you might know what Thinkorswim is. Some of you might not. So what we're looking for is just 3 bars to one side or the other off the open. Let me find the last day that we had it. That last day that we had it was actually right here. So this is a trade I took and failed on Monday. What it was, however, though, is when you get that it's 50% retracement, so you have a gap up 1, 2, 3, and this was a failed breakout. I had bought the Nadex contracts at 2051. As soon as we took out lows, this is what I'll do when the trade sets up. As soon as we took out lows, I exited the trade for a stop loss, and this is what I'll do when the trade fails, just to show you guys, because I mean, this is how I manage the trade. When the trade fails and we take out those lows, all I then do is flip and then wait till we come into that next 50% retracement. So I went long in the morning. That didn't work. Stopped myself out. And then I just went short and closed and then made all my money back and then some the other day. So that's an example of what to do when the trade doesn't go as favored, because anybody can just pick and choose trades like I did. But I really want to show you in a live scenario how I manage these positions and how I'm able to be profitable off of them. So let's find another day here if we can go back. Now, I have 6 setups. Generally speaking, one of those will trade every single day. Here's the other last time this happened. So you had boom, gap down, 1, 2, 3, 15-minute bar closes to the upside. and then you didn't actually get that 50% retracement at 2039.5 until like 215 is when that traded. So that took all day, but finally got that 50% retracement. We trade that level. I ended up buying the 2040 strikes on this Tuesday, expired above. Another example of that. I don't believe I can go any further back where there's another setup of this example on this chart, but just to show you guys a couple of live chart examples from the E-mini futures. Yes, the question is, do you teach how to trade the E-mini? Yes, I teach how to trade the E-mini. The reason I moved into Nadex is so I'll trade the ES all day long in my room, live on a screen while I'm teaching. The way I figured is, well, I can just add Nadex to the product. It's just another way to trade exactly what I'm looking at all day long. Did you have any losers? In fact, 2000 from that point on, where I showed you guys when I started that for the 13 days going into 2016, I actually didn't lose on a single trade. That is not. However, do have losers. But for whatever reason, that streak I did not have any. I just got lucky. Todd, it's okay. I've lost half of that in a single day before. So how do you draw the 50% retracement? The 50% retracement, I'll show you. So I don't know if any of you guys have Thinkorswim, but I'll go back and show you how to draw that 50% retracement just because you definitely want to know that. The 50% retracement is just, so what you're going to do is you're going to want to pull up your fib tool on the left-hand corner, and then you left click. So if you have Thinkorswim, if not, we can show you how to set it up. You just left click anywhere on the chart and then left click again, and that's your anchor, and then that's your pivot. So the anchor is where you start to draw, the pivot is where it ends. But a 50% retracement is pretty common. You'll get them quite a lot. I also draw what's called an extension, which is a high to high. This is called an extension. This is what we traded all day today. You draw from the high of the previous day to high. When it completes its target, then you draw that same high to a new high, buy the pullback. I'll give you a trade I'm going to be taking tomorrow in Nadex. So for anyone who wants to open an account, I'll give you a trade right now. I'll tell you what I'm going to take. So high to high here, I'm going to buy the 2070 strike tomorrow. I'm going to look for a pullback into 2070. In fact, I'll set an alert right now. And whatever the closest strike is at 2070, I will buy tomorrow. Do I give alerts when to buy and when to sell? No, I don't sit there calling out and alerting my trades, but however, if you have a extremely good attention span and you want to watch my screen all day, you'll see my dome and you'll see all my orders placed. But my goal is not to just give people alerts. My goal is to teach people how to trade. It really is, and that's why I show my orders, but that I don't expect people to just copy them. Joe, are you learning now? So a high to high. This is called an extension. So it's you draw from a high to high. You see how when we pull back, now I'll usually buy the pullback between the 38 and the 50. I'll have orders right around there. And then, you run it up to negative 23. Once it hits that 23, you go high to high again. You buy the 38 to the 50. And then you run it up to that negative 23. I believe that negative 23 completed in the after hours. A couple ticks off. But what I'm going to do is just take this high to high and continue to draw it all the way until we finally get that pullback. When we get that pullback, I'm going to step in with some bids. Yeah, I don't trade spreads. Let's get back to the slideshow here. So why traders fail, guys? They're going to trade products they don't understand. When I first started trading traditional options. I had no idea what I was doing. I made a little money. I lost it all. That was the cost. Call it market tuition. That's fine. But I was determined to figure out what it was that I needed to know. And That's what I've spent the rest of my life doing. Also, I think traders fail because they don't know the exact max risk and the exact max reward, and that creates psychological confusion. Anytime you're trading a product that can just go, whether you're trading futures or options, even though I'm a futures fan, but like you don't know, like if the market goes up 200 points, that's always in the back of your head. Well, it could go another 2, it could go another 4, it could go another 3. With a binary options contract, I don't think it could go another 2, it could go another 4, it could go another 3. All I think is just stay above this level or just stay below this level. So eliminating that psychological confusion by like having a max risk and a max reward, I believe takes out a lot of emotions when you're trading. Also, traders, they don't have defined setups. I have 6 clearly defined setups. One of those I just showed you guys and told you, and I really hope you go ahead and use those. But I keep these setups on my desk. They do not leave my desk. I have them printed out. I have them written up, rules-based, and everything, and I keep them on my desk. All right, so I never forget them. I mean, I can know them all by heart, and if someone gave me a piece of graph paper, I could probably draw them all out, but I still keep them on my desk, and it's important you guys do the same. Also, traders, when they first start, Thinkorswim, and I know a ton of other, whatever charting package you use, there's probably 20, 1,000 different free indicators out there. They're free for a reason, guys. Don't use them, all right? Also, traders react to price rather than plan a trade. I think that reacting to price is a horrible thing that newer traders do, and I used to do it. Very, very guilty of it. You see price go up, you jump, you buy. You see price go down, you jump, you sell. Rather than actually planning a trade with a specifically defined setup, you're chasing price with no game plan. Horrible idea, guys. Don't chase up, don't chase down, and if you're guilty, feel free to admit it now. Remove yourself from all guilt of chasing stocks, options, equities, whatever, up or down. Remove yourself from the guilt. Move forward with technical skills, define setups, get rid of those lag momentum indicators, and trade a product that you understand. Guilty. There we go. I'm guilty too. There we go. No, we're all guilty. And if you don't think you're guilty, you're bullshitting. Okay. How many of you guys got a stack of books like this? Worthless. That's hilarious. Okay, I mean, all right, guys. I read all of the time. I read self-improvement books, trading books, but I'm kind of done reading trading books at this time because they are, to me, whatever. If you guys have found value, my favorite long-term stock is CanSlim. If you guys have ever heard of that, CanSlim for stock strategies. But outside of being strictly entertainment, none of them ever helped me make a little bit of money. So don't waste your time on books. That's my opinion. I'm a guy who learns from video, and I assume all you guys learn from videos. Do you guys learn from like people showing you live thing, like teaching live? I don't think you wouldn't be here if you didn't learn from somebody showing you live. You'd be reading a book at the library with Ted Bundy. But we're not those types of people. We learn from live instruction, visual learner. That's just how I am. Wasn't very good in school personally. But I consider myself pretty good at trading. But guys, there's 4 steps to trading that I really want to focus on here. Trading a product with max risk, max reward, no net entry is going to help you, in my belief. Eliminate psychological mistakes by reducing the complexity of the products you're trading. If you're trading a butterfly, broken wing butterfly, synthetic spread, put ratio, call ratio, naked call, versus synthetic long stock, or like super sophisticated option strategies at the same time, while volatility is a constant state of change, data, delta, theta, whatever, sounds like a bunch of fraternities to me. Throw it out the window. Define setups that are going to occur every single day. That's what I've done. I've defined 6 of them. One of them I've clearly shown you how it works. You guys see it's a very rule-based setup. It's not like it's not like the MACD turns at 2 o'clock and you go long. It's a very clearly defined setup. You know when to get in, you know when to get out. And the best part about it is there's no manage on the exit. You manage on the defense. Stock just needs to be above or below based on the binary strike that you choose. You also need to execute these setups based on price action and ignore the indicators. All right, so just a little bit about that. So anyways, any more questions before I get into kind of what I want the rest of my product? I want to answer any questions regarding that trading setup or Nadex binary options. I believe I actually pulled up a demo account here. Let me exit this. So these are all the products you can trade. So I just want to show. So I know a bunch of you guys in there are like, hey, what about Forex? Like, I mean, I'm not a Forex trader, but you got options to trade the Forex. No, Nadex does not rip you off whatsoever. Nadex is CFTC regulated. They're in fact the only government regulated binary options. Trust me, I looked into this stuff. I mean, I actually wanted to test a couple of other brokers, and some of them that I didn't see my money. So binary options do have a bad rap with some people, but Nadex is 100% regulated by the CFTC, which makes it completely legit. They do not rip you off. No scams with Nadex, guys. They're a legitimate institution. But I just want to talk about Forex binaries for any of you who do trade Forex. You got the Aussie yen, Aussie dollar, Great Britain euro. You know, you have all the major pairs. And then for the indice binaries, this is something you're going to want to know. China, which is kind of cool. You can actually trade the Chinese market. So for those of you who have like work all day, you want to come home, you want to trade a product that's moving, really cool way to trade it. You got every time zone here. China, you got Australia, Germany, Japan. I'll trade the Japanese markets generally because they got charting data on them, and I can show you guys how to pull it up. The US Tech 100 is going to represent the NASDAQ or the /NQ. The US 500 is going to represent the ES. So /ES is your ticker. US small cap 2K, that is going to be the Russell. Wall Street 30, obviously that's a Dow. Everybody knows that one. And then you got events in here, jobs list claims, which is, I don't even know. I've actually never traded these events. Oh, that's hilarious. You can actually trade, wow, that's really cool. You can actually guess the jobless claims number. I mean, this isn't a product I would speculate in. Maybe if any of you guys know anybody over at the Fed that has these numbers ahead of time. No, actually, I'm not recommending insider trading, but it's just really cool that they have these different products in here. And like I said, I threw $250 in my account to start off, and you guys can all do the same, which is the greatest part about, I think, Nadex, is you can start with relatively low collateral, considering, you know, traditional option market makers and etc. are going to be you know, $2,500 minimums, etc. So I mean, you know, that's not a lot of money. I don't want to throw away $2,500 if I'm not good at it. I'll throw away $250 if I'm not good at it. Whatever, you know. But trading involves risk. Let me continue to state that. But I love risk. You might not. Anyways, guys, I got a brand new course that is my best 6 setups to trade Nadex. You know, small initial investment. You're going to learn how to increase your leverage. You know, you're going to be able to use the multiple options expirations that I've gone over. And what I'm going to teach in this course is the 6 proprietary setups that I use to turn $250, and I'm not even going to say because I feel like I'm going to get sued, into 13 days. It's a lifetime access course. You're going to get access to the MLT glossary, so all my definitions, because I use a lot of short word language in my chat room, which is a huge bonus I'm going to talk about here in a second. You're going to learn how to use fibs the right way. A lot of you guys probably know halfway backs, but that extension thing I went over in the room, you probably have never seen that before, which is cool because I'm going to show you. Anyways, guys, if you're interested in this course, one-time offer, it's going to be 97 bucks. All right. The other 5 setups I use to do that $5,000 return, the halfway back, the bully, the leg, the dive start, they're all going to be. How many hours do I trade daily? I trade all day. So all of these setups I have in video format, I have in live trade format. So I actually take live trades. I uploaded them. I just uploaded a trade yesterday where I made $7,000. I take the trade setups. I create a video why I took the trade. I uploaded it into the website, and you're able to view this. This is a lifetime access to this course. It's $97. It's an incredible deal. Raleigh asked me to come in with an incredible deal, so I am, because this normally is $197 Plus, you're going to get my trade grids, which I showed you. And the lifetime membership access is $2K alone. This deal today only is $97. But wait, there's more. For $7, you guys can come join my trade room where I trade live futures all day. You're going to see my dome. This is something you really don't get in the educational space. And I encourage anybody who has never seen a live trader or spent time in a room where a person is executing in front of you. Now, I'm not just moving my screen and moving my order sequence into the charting and showing platform when I have a winner. No, you're going to see my winners. You're going to see my losers, okay? I don't hide anything. I have no problem just showing. I mean, I don't win every day either. Nobody does. But I show it and I teach on the strategies as I'm teaching. Anybody can come in here and talk about they know this setup or that setup. Very few people are willing to execute those setups live on a platform. So if you go ahead, you join the lifetime access deal, $97. It's just a one click and you're in the room for $7, 30 days. You're going to come watch me trade live. You're going to take the setups that I have printed out here right on my desk. These are the setups you're going to have, and you're going to, if you hopefully got a printer. If you don't, go to a library, that's fine. Print these setups out. If you don't like the course, whatever, keep the setups because you're always going to be able to go back and reference those. Bring those in, bring your questions into my trading room, and come watch me trade live. I made $3,000 today live in front of my students. So when does the deal expire? You got 24 hours. You pay the $7, so you're gonna go to mltnadex.com. As soon as you pay the $97, it's gonna give you an option. Would you like to join the trade room? And then you'll click yes, and then it'll be a $7 charge, and then you'll get 30 days of me trading live, which literally, if you just want to do that and you could care less about the course, I encourage you to do, because even if you don't want to learn Nadex, but you're struggling trading and you have never had the opportunity to watch or trade every single day, you will see my gains, you will see my losses. Losses are part of trading, so are gains. And every morning I come on with a trade plan video. I record that video. One of the cool things with Thinkorswim, I don't know if you guys know this, some of you who are more familiar with Thinkorswim might, but you actually, mltnadex.com is what you're going to want to go to. But there's this little button up here that says share. Okay, I actually click that every morning, and then what that does is I'll create a link for sharing every morning. And I get to populate whatever the support and resistance I determine. See this little link? So I'll copy and paste that into my trade room along with a video describing my explanation for the price action using the systems I've developed. Populate that into the trade room. You'll actually be able to load that up onto your screen with the Thinkorswim charting package, which is also free for anyone who doesn't have it. Watch for 30 days, that's fine. I think you'll stick around for longer than that. Because yeah, so the lifetime membership is for the Nadex, which I'm always updating. But the room is just separate. Are all your videos posted to build your Nadex account? Yeah, all those videos where I took $250 into 16,000 were recorded and they are posted in our site. If you want, you can check out. They're on my YouTube too, Major League Trading. Todd, if you think I'm going to remember your email and personally email you for my alert service, you're wrong. The room is $7 for 30 days, and then it's a $99 rebill after that. If I don't get access to the room, can you still get support? Crystal, you can still get support. Obviously, we're going to answer emails, but it's a lot easier for me to be on live screen share and answer your question. They're going to get like pictures and stuff. And like, I mean, if that's what you want, you can do it, but you're going to get a lot more value for an extra $7. On an average daily basis, in my room, I probably have about 30 people. So it's relatively small. I probably have about 30 people talking. The room is every single day. It starts At 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, so half an hour before the bell and goes till close. MLTNadex.com, guys. As far as what is my winning percentage, I don't calculate my winning percentage on Nadex, but I know I make money because I see it in my P&L. Mostly newer traders. To be honest, mostly newer traders. No, I do not make money every day. No, it's not. I wouldn't call it a very lengthy course. Continuously adding to it, so in a year it's probably going to be a pretty lengthy course. What I do is I break down every single one of the trades. So I talked about one here. I break down. I have 5 more. I talk about them, and then I show you the trades I take on them. My thought process going into the trades. So I'll be like, I'll talk about everything from the bigger picture, the general market trend, why I took this setup, and why I chose this strike. Yes, I also have a 30-day guarantee. I stand behind my product. How many trades do you make a day per Nadex? Really not that many. I trade a lot more. I'll trade 4 to 8 on the ES, 4 to 8 trades a day on the ES, and probably 1 to 2 on Nadex. It's $97 and then $7 if you want to join the room. Now you can check out if you just want to join the room, you can check out my website, majorleaguetrading.com. How do I do on the ES? Well, I made 3,000 a day. I trade 6 to 10 lots. All right, guys, going to leave this offer up for the next 24 hours. I appreciate all of you who have come to this webinar and listened to me present. I encourage you all to continue to pursue your trading dream, because when I first started trading, everybody told me I'm crazy. Now everybody wants to take my class, which is funny because I literally went from everyone calling me an idiot for trying to learn how to trade to now all of my friends asking if they can take my class. So appreciate it, guys. Take care, and I hope you learned a lot.
Well, Jack, I want to. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Jack, I want to thank you so much for spending an hour with us here at the Trading Pub. I personally got a lot out of what you were doing, and I know for me, I love testing new things. So I'm going to be testing that setup that you talk with the gap and the 3 bars up or 3 bars down. Okay, can people see charts? Okay, if you can see, my goodness, I've got all kinds of things going on here. Anyway, with the pound dollar today, it started off at 2 o'clock in the morning, just kind of flat, like around 1.4260, and between 2 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock in the 2 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the active zone for the pound dollar. European exchanges are open, London exchange is open, and right here is where 2 o'clock happened. This is where the European exchange opened, and then London opened right about here, and there was a downtrend right at this point in time. Now, a binary decision you can make with this is to watch what happens, because normally this happens a lot, and if you see this pattern happening, you can act on it. What the pound dollar is going to do is it's going to go up or it's going to go down. Then it's going to retrace back to a fib level somewhere. It could be 50%, it could be 61.8, it could be 76.4. Today, it was the 76.4 level. And it just kind of waffled around that area. And what I was waiting for was that bounce back down off the fib retrace level. As soon as I saw it, I sold the market from from this level right up here, 1.4260. And as you can see, the market, that trade never took any heat. My risk per contract was $80. So that's a lot of premium to pay. But I've watched this trade and followed it over and over and over again. It's very rare if the high of the day is established in the morning hours right here, it's very rare in the afternoon for the marketplace to break that high. It's like a seesaw. The lower the high of the day normally establishes itself between 2 and 5 in the morning. The corresponding high or low, the opposite high or low, happens after 8 o'clock when the New York Exchange opens. So think of it like a seesaw with the hours of 5 to 8 being the fulcrum. And if you see that setup playing up and you can identify a low or a high in the morning, then the odds or the probability is that the corresponding high or low is going to happen in the afternoon. So in this trade, actually I had two trades that went on with this market. So I sold up here and I sold 5 contracts. So I picked up $20 times 5, picked up $100 on this move right here. Then the marketplace, let me just clean up my mess here. Then the marketplace came back up, and after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the marketplace just flatlines, and it got up here and it just stayed flat. And that's where I actually bought the market from this strike for the same risk reward and picked up the same result down here. During the hour, going up to noon, really, you can see a lot of volatility in the pound dollar. After lunch, Europe shuts down, London shuts down, New York is coming back after lunch. There's nobody to play. People that trade Forex don't even want to get involved in the market. There are no pips to collect. There's no volatility. So it's very normal for that marketplace just to travel sideways. We call that the dead zone. And as long as you're on the right side of the market, there's money to be made. So that was basically a way that you can trade Forex with one currency pair. And with all of that being said, first of all, did that make any sense? And I apologize for the technical difficulty. So if you're into volatility and collecting pips, up until noon is a good time. There's opportunities for spreads. There are binary decisions. I personally prefer trading binaries because I feel the need to sort of camp on the charts watching spreads. I can walk away from the binaries as long as I know I'm trading from a position of safety. So there's volatility up until really about 12. After 12, things really start. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, the marketplace will normally go where it was, and then it'll just drift. It'll trade sideways. And there are tons of other strategies for other Eastern time. I'm sorry. When I talk Nadex, since all times on Nadex are East Coast time, since everything in Nadex does is East Coast time, when I talk Nadex, it's Eastern time. I actually live in Central time, but my brain has converted over to East Coast time, so there's no confusion there. So it was kind of a little bit of a bonus tip. There's a lot more things that are available, and you can find tons of archived material at tradingpub.com on how to trade Nadex, how to trade crude oil. Jack has done a great job with the E-minis, but I write articles on how to trade the Nikkei. In fact, if you go to Nadex's blog website, which is, I think it's called All About the Binaries, I publish a regular blog column every Monday and Wednesday morning. So with that being said, any final questions, folks? Yeah, I was trying to figure out where you're going with that. A few good starts on Trading Pub. Whenever I find a good strategy that has high probability, I talk about it. Yeah, I think Raleigh just posted a link to one of my blogs that I wrote today that I think quite coincidentally talked about the seesaw effect on the British pound. But there's tons of good information out there. Any other final questions? Are you collecting premium or trading binary option or a currency? Actually, what I do is most of my strategies, Rick, are binary option strategies with Nadex, and I only trade probability strategies that I have a documented high probability of success with. You know, I record these stats, keep them, and I also trade with like-minded traders that keep the same stats. So in some cases, we'll know that particular trade that I took this afternoon. I knew that there was a better than 90% chance that that trade was going to be successful. So risking $80 was no problem at all for me. As long as what you risk is less than your probability of success, and you know the probability of success, it's really, really hard to lose money. Well, folks, I think we're going to call it a night. I want to thank everyone for coming in and attending this presentation. As a reminder, everything will be, this event will be recorded and emailed tomorrow afternoon to you, so you can look back at it at your own leisure. Thanks again and have a great evening.